Good afternoon. My name is Trent Parker with the National Weather Service in Missoula, Montana, and I've got your planning briefing for this Thursday, October 16th. We're going to be clipped by a trough on Friday. That's going to bring us some breezy, cooler, and showery conditions, a lull in weather activity for Saturday, a pretty nice day shaping up, and then a wetter storm Sunday into Monday. That's really the big feature here going forward. And then in the long term, we're seeing some hints at a series of storms potentially to wrap up the month of October, tied to a couple of atmospheric rivers. So potentially a very wet end to the month of October coming for us. Here's what it looks like on Friday. This is kind of just an example of what the radar reflectivity could look like around 6 o'clock in the evening. A couple of those showers oriented from west to east. If you get clipped by one of these, it's probably going to be pretty brief and not producing a whole lot of rain or snow. This will be a mountain snow valley rain event with a couple of inches potentially up in the mountains, especially towards the Swan, the Missions, and the Bob Marshall. And then on the higher end, we could see a little bit of snow accumulation up to maybe 2 or 3 inches in portions of the Bitterroot and Sapphire ranges as well. Here's what it looks like if you melted that snow down, or if you just get plain rain, maybe 100th to 500ths here from the Missoula up through the Flathead and Mission Valleys. And then on the higher end, we could see close to 1/10 of an inch here in Missoula, and then higher amounts as you head north up to 2/10 in the Flathead Lake area. And as we head towards Saturday, this will be probably the nicest day of the next several. We've got partly cloudy skies in the forecast, maybe some morning fog or low stratus in the valleys, but otherwise a really nice day, near normal temperatures in the 50s for most of us. Here's that wetter storm for Sunday into Monday, really starting to turn on the precipitation by Sunday morning. Those snow levels pretty high, though, above 6,500 feet. We get more cooling and more widespread precipitation as we head towards Sunday evening, those snow levels dropping to about 5,500 feet. And then by Monday morning, this is kind of the question mark. How cold do we get? Right now, it looks like those snow levels will be around 4,700 feet. There's also that chance that we could see a couple of wet snowflakes mixing down to the valleys, not expecting a whole lot of accumulation. And if you want a reference for some of those past levels, I've got those listed right up there. As we look towards that Sunday and Monday storm, here's what it looks like for the lower end precipitation, whether that's melted snow or just liquid rainfall. Anywhere from 1/3 to about 1/2 an inch in a pretty widespread area here of north central Idaho. This will be the target zone with that upslope flow, a pretty normal spot to see some pretty heavy precipitation. And then on the higher end, we could see as much as an inch, maybe up to 1.5 inches in this area. You can see Grangeville on this higher end ticking up to 0.8 of an inch. And otherwise, pretty good storm for most of us. We should see at least a wetting rain across the entire region. And as far as snowfall totals go, this is just a middle of the road snowfall forecast for you. Hold on, let me go right back real quick. Not expecting anything, like I said, in the valleys for many locations, but up in the mountains, we could see maybe 2 to 6 or even more in some of those higher peaks of the Bitterroot, Swan, and Mission Mountains. And as we head towards this weekend and next week, here's what the temperatures look like. Definitely a downtrend as we head towards Monday into Tuesday, with Tuesday morning potentially being the coldest. And then as far as snow levels go, they get pretty high up there on Saturday evening into Sunday, and then they start to drop, like I said, into Monday. And that's where we could be potentially seeing a little bit of those wet snowflakes mixing down to valley floors. We're going to have to keep watch on that and see how that forecast evolves. Here's the probability for precipitation heading through the next 7 days or so. About a 40% chance here on Friday, and then a much better chance for the entire region as we head towards that Sunday, Monday storm. And then here's the RHs listed out if you have any concerns for that. It looks like the driest day will probably be Saturday afternoon. Like I said, that really nice day coming up. Otherwise, we're looking pretty moist and saturated through the next 7 days. Here's what wind gusts look like. Most of the passes will stay pretty breezy through the next 7 days out of the west. But really, Friday afternoon, we could see an uptick in winds, gusts up to 30, 35 miles an hour. Won't be uncommon. And then Sunday afternoon as well, we could see another uptick in those southerly, southwesterly winds. So we'll be watching that. And the 6 to 10 day outlook features a little bit of a higher chance to see warmer temperatures than normal, and a little bit of a higher chance to see wetter conditions than normal. And that goes through the 25th. But really, things start to look a little bit more appetizing as we head towards, like I said, that last part of the month, the last week of the month, where we start to pick up a better chance for above normal precipitation here across the Pacific Northwest. And the Weather Prediction Center is actually kind of highlighting that here. The Climate Prediction Center is showing a slight risk for heavy snowfall here across much of the Northern Rockies. And this will likely be mostly up in the mountains, but we'll have to watch and see just how cold these storms come in and see if they have any risk of producing any valley snow impacts. So thank you for watching. Our next scheduled briefing will be Sunday, October 19th. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week and weekend.